When life gives you an orange lemon.
You create a spooky podcast.
So if you guys don't know that it's spooky season, let me just, give me a second. I forgot something. Give me a second. I got this. Spooky season here, okay? If y'all didn't know, there's a ghost here. Ooh. Okay, I'm back. So, yeah, guys.
So welcome back, guys, to our 9th episode, right?
9th episode.
Welcome back to our 9th episode, our 2nd episode on our YouTube channel. Could you hear my neighbors?
A little bit.
Okay,
it's not a podcast episode without your neighbors involved.
Without my neighbors and Rocky, they're always in the podcast. All right, so just to mention it, we started a YouTube channel where we're here recording ourselves through Zoom and we're uploading that. So if you want to see our facial expressions, how we react to things, go follow our YouTube channel and subscribe.
As you can tell, or if you can't, we've had a lot of technical difficulties throughout this whole podcast experience, so bear with us. We're still trying. But yeah, like, Joanna, can you repeat what you were saying?
Yeah, so we started a YouTube channel for our podcast. This is our 2nd episode for YouTube. So if you want to see our facial expressions, see how we react to things, go follow our YouTube channel. It should be Lemon Talk Podcast, and make sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up.
And then comment down below if Anchor send you, or like what podcast you're actually, listen to your podcast regularly. Like, do you use Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of that good stuff? Let us know. And then comment on a lemon for fun. Why not? And so today, we're just going to go through some brief reminders, just in case y'all don't know. In our last podcast, we actually mentioned that we're having an ongoing, not a contest, but like some sort of ongoing story submission that you guys can do. The deadline is October 23rd, and we want you guys to be a part of our podcast this spooky season. So, of course, we want you guys to tell us the story, give us a real life experience or a fictional experience that you guys wrote. And we will read it here. We're going to get a spooky looking background. We're going to get all into it. Yeah. And then, And then email us at lemontalkpodcast@gmail.com or DM us the story on Instagram at lemontalkpodcast. And then we'll get to you guys. And then, of course, we're going to give you credit for your hard work.
Yeah, and so with that, we'll just start the podcast. And I got the quote of the day today. So the quote of the day is, "You are the greatest project you will ever work on." So this quote to me means really focus on yourself. Don't let others control your life and how they want you to live your life, because you should be the one that is in full control of making those decisions. You are responsible for really where you go in life. So if you think you can make it far, you can. Anything you set your mind to really you're able to achieve. And yeah, so yeah, that's yeah, that's it.
That was deep. That was deep right there. You just got to reflect on yourself and your experiences, right? It's like you live and you learn. And a lot of us go through a lot of stuff in our lives, and we just gotta live and gotta learn. Also, I want to give a shout out to Isabel. Mentioned this the other time. It's not a podcast episode without mentioning Isabel, right? But floor gang, I'm on the floor. Joanna, are you on the floor?
No, not today.
Oh, she's not joining me. Oh, it's okay. Okay. But yeah, with that wrapping up, the quote of the day, we're actually going to get into our next, or our first segment, basically. Our first segment.
Yes, versus. Let's do like a thing like we're punching each other.
Am I doing it right? Are you this way?
Yeah.
Or is it this way?
Yeah. No, the other way.
Okay, so all right. So with that out of the way, we just gotta vent our feelings out. If you don't know what we just did, we just punched each other. So go check it out on our YouTube channel. But like Joanna was talking about, our next segment is versus. Do you want me to introduce it, or do you want to introduce it?
You introduce it.
So, like we've been doing for the last 2 episodes, we have actually been going back in time. Yes, we're traveling back in time. Very spooky, and scary too, because we've done a lot of stuff in a good way, not in a bad way. That sounded really creepy, but it's not. I promise. So we're going back in time to 2017, which at this time we were 8th graders. And so basically today, we're just gonna, it's like the previous 2 episodes. It's my costume versus Joanna's costume. I already know who the winner is for this one. I'm gonna try to sell my outfit, my costume outfit idea thing that I was for 2017, but let's be honest, we all know who won. And she knows she won. That's why she's laughing. So, can I go first? Actually, you go first because I have too much going on this end, and I don't want the audio to get picked up by it.
Okay, so for 8th grade, let me just say before I say what I was, a lot of my Halloween outfits or costumes are very last minute. This one, also the 8th grade one, being very last minute. Probably I decided the day or 2 days before Halloween. And one thing about me is that I love onesies, the pajamas that like are just one piece, like just a zipper.
Those things that like kind of like what babies used to wear.
Yeah, basically what babies wear, but in like a more grown up version. So I have like 3 onesies. So in 8th grade I had 3 onesies. One of them being a minion one. It wasn't like a full minion one, it was like a blue onesie and had like different minions all around. So, like Dulce said, babies usually wear onesies.
Insert picture here.
So, very last minute, I was like, you know what? I have a onesie already. I was like, why don't I dress up as a baby? So that's what I did, 8th grade. I dressed up as a baby. And yeah, so I basically put on my onesie that was a minion. I put my hair in 2 pigtails, and then I went to the store and I bought a pacifier. Yes, I even went as far as to buy a pacifier for my costume. So I was a full-on baby.
Guys, like she's selling herself short here. Like if you saw the image of her though, like it was priceless. It was priceless. Like it was just priceless. I can't even describe, because I mean the way that she's describing it, she makes it sound a little bit less like less cool than it actually was, because she just like strolled in, walking into school with her like onesie on, and she had like the pacifier and her 2 pigtails. Like I'm telling you, Joanna has courage, but like in a good way, because she even looked. When you have courage and you have confidence in yourself, you look good in anything. So Joanna would like walk in, and she's like that classic like like person strolling in, walking in the hallways, and they're like. But Yeah, basically, I absolutely loved her outfit. I thought it was creative. I don't think a lot of people have the guts to do something like that. So for a last minute thing, and for her to go way, way above and beyond and get an actual pacifier, which I think she still owns.
No, I don't. That is in the trash. Stop.
The other day we were talking about this, and I was like, "Do you still have everything?" And she's like, "The pacifier."
No.
I was like, "Oh, okay." I was referring to the onesie, but if he went that far. So basically, I'm gonna try to sell my outfit here. I was for 2017. I was actually a Harry Potter Hogwarts student, and basically, me and Isabel were both were, which is really funny. And basically, she wore better than me. She had like the full on outfit. She was all like that. I literally just put on a dress and put on my cloak and called it a day. And yeah, I mean for sure she wore it better than me. But that was my outfit, as you can tell, not as creative as Joanna's, not as unique as Joanna's, and I did not wear mine with confidence as Joanna. So I would say Joanna kind of wins this one. Um, we'll still do a poll, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna win this one.
And what were you gonna say?
I surrender. I surrender. Where's my white flag? I don't know. I'll make one. All right, guys. So as you can probably tell, we changed locations. It's just a thing, okay? Let's not talk about it. But so we're gonna be heading into our relatable segment. And so basically we're gonna be talking about childhood. Well, our one favorite childhood toy that we had, because that kind of connects to our growing up situation in our next segment. But basically, do I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Something that for my childhood that was like so big for me was like the Polly Pockets, but like the actual Polly Pockets, the ones that were like in a heart thing, and then like you opened it and it was like a little house. Have you ever seen those?
No, I don't really know what that is.
Okay, well, comment down if you guys know what I'm talking about. But the Polly Pocket was like a little like thing you can open, and then it's like a house, like a legit house, and then you got like these little tiny like Polly Pockets. And that's kind of like something that I chose that was my childhood, because basically I was going through Instagram one day and I saw this person like starting to talk about like childhood different toys and games and stuff, and I was like, that's so cool. Maybe we should talk about that. So we decided to just choose one for this week's podcast, and hopefully, if you just want to know more about our childhood, we can just continue it in another week's podcast. But basically, I chose the Polly Pocket because that was something that I used to play a lot, and I just had a lot of them. And then I did some research, and apparently they're worth more than $100. And I'm like, I literally sold mine for like $1 because we made a yard sale before I left Arizona. I used to live in Arizona, and I just gave them away, and I lost about $100 there. But the lesson learned: don't make terrible financial mistakes like me. Do your research. Joanna, continue.
Yeah, so for me, the toy that I picked, similar to Dulce, I had a lot of them. And mine was Barbies. Like, I loved Barbies. I had like a whole like big bucket of them. I would play with them almost every night. I love Barbies so much that my parents always remind me of it. I was like young. I was like 5 or maybe younger. That this I don't remember, but they always remind me of it. They said that we were driving in the car, and out of nowhere, I just tell my dad, Dad, I love you. And everyone in the car is just like, oh. And then I go, can you buy me a Mona? And for those of you that don't know, I said, Dad, I love you. And everyone's, oh. And I basically said, so can you buy me a doll?
Dang, honestly though, comment down if that's any child, to be honest. You're like, I love you, and then you're like, where's my gift?
Yeah. Yeah, so mine
um,
is dolls, like Barbies. I love Barbies.
you can be anything.
But the what thing is, I never had a Ken. Like, I think once. Yeah, I only got one like Ken.
Oh no.
Everyone else was girls.
I always felt like that was forbidden. Like that was a forbidden thing for me. But like it wasn't. Like it wasn't, but like I just never had a Ken doll.
Yeah, it took a while for my parents to get me that Ken doll.
It took a lot of I love yous, Dad, to get those. But yeah, I mean, Barbies are just universal. I mean, that girl has like what? Like more than like 700 careers? Like, is she like a robot or something? Like
Barbie.
what?
Barbie can do it all. She got it.
Honestly. And that actually leads us to our next segment. Joanna, introduce our lemon talk today.
Lemon Talk, we're going to be talking about college because we're in the process of applying to colleges.
Are we lying to them right now?
So we're applying
it's
to
a process.
Yeah, so I think it's your school too, right? You get 4 fee waivers for Cal States and UCs.
That's the plan.
So, well, at least for my academy, we're getting 4 fee waivers, which means we get to apply for free to 4 Cal States, 4 UCs, and then we get to apply to as many privates as we want, but that depends if we qualify or not to apply for free. And so for me, I'm going to be applying to 4 Cal States. I have 3 already. I don't know which is going to be my first one. I mean, my fourth one. I'll be applying to 4 UCs and 2 privates. What about you, Dulce?
Oh my God, I'm being put on the spot right now. I'm applying to, I think it's 4 Cal States, 4 UCs. No, but so basically, I am not applying early decision. Are you applying early decision?
No, I think early action, where the one that's not binding, but you just get to find out earlier. So that's my goal. That's what I'm aiming for.
I don't know. Well, it's because I have a program helping me along with everything that has to do with that in there. And I mean, I don't know how, if you want to get like deeper into it, as into like what schools you're applying to, like in what states.
Later on in the year, when we find out what college we're going to, stay tuned for that log.
Oh my God, you get accepted to none of them?
But you'll get in, I believe.
You're like, your odds are 1 to 20. You're fine. But yeah, we're really excited. We just wanted to talk about like the college thing because we're going into college. How far are you in your college application? Like, how do you sign up for FAFSA?
So no.
Any advice?
I haven't done FAFSA yet. I've done my first like draft of my personal statement. I'm basically done with the UC application. I just need my counselors have to review my PIQs and give me feedback. Cal State, we just started working on it. And any advice, probably like start writing down a list of your activities that you're doing in high school, because it could have saved me time. I was like, okay, wait, what did I do freshman year? Okay, what's sophomore year? And provide a little description of them, so that way I'll just go faster.
That's funny because that was my same mentality, but actually forces you to do a brag sheet every year. So every year we actually have like a kind of like a closing of what we did that year. But I do agree on that. That's a good advice. For me, I'm currently done with my personal statement. Thank you. I'm done with my PIQs as well. I have not submitted any UC application yet, which I need to get to. And as for the FAFSA thing, I just turned in my FAFSA like 2 days ago, maybe. My counselor was politely asking me to do it. And so I was like, you know what, like you're right, I have to do this. Like I'm just like not really, because there was like a lot of issues that were going on at the moment, like taxes and like all these things, and we had to go get them, and it was messy. It was a roller coaster. But my piece of advice would be that um, try to always. I know that UCs and like their PIQs. I feel like when those come out, if you're a junior right now, look them up during the summer. Look up for like the personal statement things on the comment app. Try to get a head start. Like keep track on that, because it'll help you just kind of like, okay, see like the prompts and just be able to like think of what to do. And like Joanna mentioned, keep track of what you do. Start venturing out too. Like if you feel like your activity list is not to the potential that you want it and the way that you want it to be, then create a YouTube channel, make a podcast, do so many different things to just kind of get it where you want it to be. And don't stress. I wish someone told me that, right? People were telling me, but like, I wish someone told me in the beginning of this that it's going to be stressful. It's going to be an emotional roller coaster. You're going to cry, but don't stress. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. So that's it. Do we have anything else to say about colleges?
I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll get into this like maybe in another episode, but for right now, that's it.
Yeah, once we're like probably like done with like we submitted all our applications, we're starting to receive the either acceptances or rejections back. We'll come back and talk about this topic. But that ends pretty much our podcast for today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys if you're on YouTube for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Lemon Talk Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for listening and staying tuned in. This is our episode 9 podcast. That's kind of crazy, in my opinion. I'm like, time flew by. It might not seem like a lot, but it seems like a lot to us because we're the ones actually always doing these type of things. So yeah, I think that's it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's podcast episode. We loved it. It was fun. It was thrilling.
So thank you guys for listening again. See you guys in episode 10.